Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a review on this Laura Barista Coffee and Espresso machine by Philips. So this retails for about $190. Now you do have to buy the coffee capsules from Laura, but it does take Nespresso pods when you want to make an espresso. Now the coffee pods, they're retailing for about 86 cents a piece, and the espresso pods about 60 cents a piece. But you can find other ones, and the espresso pods maybe a little bit cheaper. But as far as I know, I think Laura's the only one that makes these coffee capsules. Okay, so this is a combination coffee maker. You can make a cup of coffee or an espresso. So if you want to make an espresso, you're going to need one of these capsules. This is an espresso pod. Now Miss Fiona is up from her nap wanting a treat. And when you want to make a cup of coffee, you're going to need a coffee pod. You can see these are quite a bit bigger, so they hold a lot more coffee. So it's very simple to operate. You're going to open this up. It takes both kinds of pods right there. So no matter which type of pod you put in there, just close it. Now back here, we can turn it on. If the light is flashing, that means it's just warming up on the inside. When all the lights go steady, that means it's ready to brew. Now, depending on what pod you put in, that's how much you brew. So if I put a coffee pod in, again, there's only one size of coffee pod, but they come in different strengths and levels. If I put a coffee pod in, the smallest one is 5 ounces. The middle one's 8 ounces, and this one's 12 ounces. If I put an espresso pod in, if I want to brew an espresso, the smallest one is 1.4 ounces, 2.7 ounces, and 3.7 ounces. Around back, it does have a water tank that you can take off. It's got a heavy-duty cord that's 3-prong, and it's 34 inches long. Yeah, this is kind of like a metal handle. Take a look up here, you can see. It's going to pierce the back side of this pod whenever you put it in. So I've brewed a couple already. There's what it looks like, and it pierces the front of it. Even on the smaller pods, same thing. Now when you take it out of the box, there is one thing you have to assemble. You have to assemble this. Now I found this to be just a little tricky. This gray part, this is 2 separate parts. You're going to put the gray part on here, and then you're going to put this in like this. You're going to put this front side in first, then rotate it. And it should kind of snap into place. You'll hear it kind of snap. Now the pump inside is a 19-bar pump, and it consumes 1,450 watts. So we do have a drip tray here. You're going to remove the drip tray whenever you do coffee. And we've also got this thing you're going to pull out. This is where the capsules are. So you're going to pull this out. When the capsules are done, they're going to be deposited here. And this, you do get some water in here from the brewing. So you got to empty this out once in a while too. This just slides back. So a real quick measurement for a coffee cup, about 5 1/4. Let's put the drip tray on. When you got the drip tray on, it's about 3 3/4. Okay, so let's take a look at the pods. So I cut these open before they were brewed. Now it's a really fine coffee that's in both of them. I think it's the same consistency in both. The coffee pod, you just got a lot more coffee. And there is a little filter down at the end, but it is an aluminum pod. And again, here's what they look like after they've been brewed. It pokes holes there and there. And you can see these say exclusively for the Laura Barista system. And it kind of tells you what the intensity, this is an intensity, this is a dark roast. They leave it up to you what you want to brew it on. I like to brew my coffees on 8 ounce, but you could brew it on a 5 ounce if you were making an iced coffee. 12 ounce, it's a little watered down for me, but you can definitely brew it on a 12 ounce. This intensity is a 7, so this is like a medium roast. And these will say coffee capsules on them. Now let's go over to again, these are Nespresso pods. So this is the same thing that an Espresso pod machine uses. It's called the original line Nespresso pod. And we can see it has an intensity level. And again, these pods don't tell us what to brew it on. I like to brew my Espresso pods on the 2.7 ounce. Some Nespresso pods will tell you that it was designed to be brewed as a single shot, a lungo. Okay, so let's see how easy it is to brew. Again, lift the handle. You're going to take the pod. You just place the pod there. You don't poke it down. You don't press it. The handle's going to do all the work. And it closes very easy. Then I've got the power on already. I'm going to do that shot right there. So it starts brewing right away. About 186. What I've noticed with this machine is it's relatively consistent with its temperature. And again, I could have brewed just 1.4 ounces or up to 3.7, but I brewed 2.7. All right, it's done. Let's see what we end up with. Yeah, that's a really hot espresso shot. Now, I can't drink it like this. I do have to put this either with like an iced coffee or a cappuccino or latte. Now, what I have found with this type of machine is it does seem to make like a stronger, darker coffee, like a more intense coffee flavor. Up here, now you're simply going to open the lever and it's going to drop the pod down below. Okay, so now let's brew a coffee. This is a coffee pod. It fits in there just like that one. We just push it there like that. Close the handle. Again, the handle closes very easy. And when I'm ready, I'm going to press the 8-ounce button, which is the middle button. Okay, so we're going to take the drip tray out so that we can put a coffee mug in here. Then I'm going to press the 8-ounce button. So it's a very fast brewer. You hear like a little pop in there. It's ramping up the temperature really quick. You end up with a very hot cup of coffee. And I like this coffee is very intense. It's very strong. The coffee maker is not super loud. Now they call that foam like crema. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't think it tastes good, but on this machine it does seem to taste pretty good. Okay, you can see that was really quick. And we end up with, again, like a really hot cup of coffee. Yeah, 175. And again, this is like a really intense coffee, really strong, intense coffee flavor. Now, I'm not a coffee taste expert by no means. I have to add some cream and sugar to this to kind of get that bitterness taste away. But it's a very good cup of coffee. And again, we're just going to lift this up. It drops the pod down. We can see where those pods go. Pull this out. There's where those pods are. And you can see there does get a little bit of water in there. So sometimes you got to take this over there and dump that out. Okay, so now it's time for measurements. 15 inches front to back. Left to right, 7 inches. Now with the handle all the way up, it is about 16.5 inches, so it will fit under a kitchen cabinet. And you do have to lift the handle all the way. But it sits on your counter right about 11 inches tall. So I think this is meant to compete with the Verdio line, the one that has the round pods that spins them, because that's what the flavor reminds me of. Again, you're limited on flavors. You know, I'm so used to a Keurig machine or a coffee maker, and I can get my certain flavor that I want. You know, you are going to be tied into this system. And again, the coffee pods were, 86 cents a piece. A typical Keurig K-Cup is around 50 cents. They can get as low as 25, and they can get up there as high as about 75 cents. But I was glad to see that it uses Nespresso pods, the original line. They really weren't, they really didn't talk much about this machine. I knew there's been a lot of advertising on this machine. That's pretty much why I bought it. I saw this ad. The ads are excellent. They show the coffee being made, and it does make the coffee exactly like the ads show. But I was just really intrigued by it, so I did a lot of research. And again, you do have to buy the certain pods for the coffee. And they didn't say much about using the Nespresso pods, but this is the original line Nespresso pods. So these are widely available, lots of different flavors for your espresso drinks. I found this part to be just a little, I've knocked that off a few times. It does seem to drip, not a lot, but quite a bit. So get your drink away from it, or it will kind of drip some water into it. The whole drip tray in this thing, for $200, it's a nice machine. It seems very well made. It does have a lot of plastic feel to it. I would like that to be just a little bit nicer, I think. Around back, I do like the simplicity of it. The water tank's okay. It's got a kind of a weird angle to it. But as far as speed and how quiet it was, it's actually a pretty nice machine. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do a comparison with the Verdio line. That's the round pods that get spun. I've got a couple of those machines, so I'm going to have to do a taste test comparison with those. But again, you know, this coffee is a little hard for me to drink. Again, I can't drink it straight. I find that this coffee that this makes with this crema, it's more of like for when somebody is searching for like a stronger, when like a K-cup is not cutting it anymore, or a cup of coffee, you're wanting something a little more intense, a little more coffee flavor. That's when these machines, I think, really shine. Now up here it does say when the small and the large lights start flashing, that means it's time to descale. So I will do a descale video on this. It does come with a manual. It's, you know, it's basic. It kind of gets you through, but it, you know, I thought it could be a little bit more descriptive, but it does tell you everything I guess you need to know. And they're really wanting you to register it. So the serial number, this was on top of the water tank. I've never seen that before. So they really want you to register the product. Now it does talk about all these pods are recyclable. Now you will have to take that foil off. You will have to get the coffee out of there. And it talks about you can get a bag from Laura and send these in. I didn't see any information on that inside the box. And so on the box, here's some of the single serve. You've got vanilla. Again, you're really kind of tied to what they're producing. So rounding up, I did think it's simple to use. Again, there's just a few little things that I didn't necessarily like about it, but it is simple to use. I mean, you're gonna, like I said, it doesn't hold many pods inside here, so you're gonna be kind of emptying that. I did find there to be quite a bit of water back there in that area too, so you're gonna be emptying that quite a bit. But for what it does, it's a 19-bar espresso pump that makes coffee and espresso. You know, and you can add that to an iced coffee. It's going to taste really good, a cappuccino or a latte. So if there's any other views or reviews you'd like me to do of a coffee maker, leave them in the comments down below. I check my comments. I will put a link to this in the show description note. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you click underneath the video, there's the word see more. If you click that, it opens up more of a description. Inside there will be a link. It'll take you to Amazon. If you click on it and end up purchasing the product, I do get a commission from the sale. Now the product doesn't cost you anymore, but it is a way of supporting my channel. I bought this coffee maker with my own money. And again, it was mainly from the advertising. I think the advertising was mainly on Amazon. I don't know if I saw it anywhere else, but the advertising was very, very good. Very convincing. So again, under the video, give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. That helps out my YouTube channel. If you subscribe, you'll get notifications whenever I do a review on a new coffee maker. Thanks everybody for watching. And if you could, please like and subscribe.